And today, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja was somewhere in Western,
Yes.
and the president's aide, Farouk Kibet, told him to not allow anything to happen on that day. No demonstrations, no nothing.
Farouk Kibet is just a mere assistant of the president. He's not elected by anybody. He has no authority to represent or to speak for anybody. He is an assistant of the president. Mwai Kibaki, I've had the privilege of working with two presidents. I was Mwai Kibaki's minister. I never at any time saw Mwai Kibaki's assistant giving instructions to ministers, to members of parliament, to governors. It never happened. Who is Farouk Kibet? I'm told he's here a standard 6 dropout. Someone who is giving directions to people with degrees, people who have been elected, who have mandate to speak and to represent. Who is Farouk Kibet? He's a mere assistant of the president. I worked with President Uhuru Kenyatta. He had a personal assistant called Jomo. Jomo Gishaga never at any time attempted to bully anyone, to give or call press conference or hold rallies. So I don't really understand who Farouk Kibet is to give directions to the governor of the county of Nairobi on what to do on that day. I think if I was governor, Sakaja, I would treat him with the contempt he deserves. Because I'm elected. Mm-hmm. I'm the leader of this county. Mm-hmm. And he should not fall into the trap of such poor advice. And I'm beginning to think William Ruto's government is going down because of so many poor advisors such as Farouk Kibet. Wanasema wapishi wengi huharibu mchuzi. Mm-hmm. Many cooks spoil the broth. But many such unlearned and poor advisors are spoiling the broth for this government. This might be the real source of problems for William Ruto and his government. Mm-hmm. Yes. You've taken away everything from their pay slip, then you are going to give handouts in the villages. The best way to empower Kenyans is to restore the dignity of the pay slip. That empowered middle class is what grows a country. Okay. There can't be a better empowerment than restoring the dignity of that pay slip and empowering the middle class. And the middle class are the goose that lay the golden eggs. They have so many families, including extent that they are supporting. The minute you kill the middle class, the way we are killing their pay slip, you are killing Kenya. Okay.
He did some math, and the contributions are about 100 million shillings per week for these empowerment programs. And we're asking where this money is coming from. From your experience working in government, where is this money? Is it the disposable money that is in some place? Is it the confidential vote? Where would people get this money from?
You can see also State House being given a lot of money and a lot of renovations going on. They finish this, they do that, they do that. There's a way they're playing with this money, but also these affordable housing funds. Kenyans need to know, to follow up and know whether this money is going to the consolidated fund. It might not be. Where is this money going? They're telling you they're putting the money in the treasury, they are doing this. But all of a sudden, in fact, it is the president himself who let the cat out of the bag. We thought you are taxing us to build houses. They say, no, in fact, hata hii pesa ya housing levy inatusaidia sana hata kujenga masoko. What? Kenyans were shocked. My money that you are deducting from my payslip is going
building
to
markets.
Who asked me about those markets? There was no public participation in that decision. A few guys sat at State House. Hey guys, housing levy, we have so much money. We can't absorb it. What do? Itawa magavana kidogo tuweke kwa masoko ingine at a stadium. Who authorized them? Now belatedly they are trying to do some subsidiary legislation,
the regulations,
to do the regulation, but already without asking you, without any public participation, they had already decided. They have deducted so much money from you through that housing levy thing that they don't know what to do with it. So they just sat and decided wafanye soko. It means if they can decide on their own without your knowledge to take some of your extra money to markets, they could also be using some of that extra money to do whatever they please politically. And you see them coming with loads and loads of money. Of course, they have those confidential votes. And they are calling everybody to State House when the budget is coming. Unasikia Waluya ndio hawa wameenda State House. Delegation ya Western.
Where tujakuona huko party leader.
No,
you need to go and
no,
also
no.
get empowered.
No. The day I go there,
Yeah.
we'll be going there for the handing over after the one-term presidency of William Ruto.
Do you think it is
I have
possible
no intention of going there any
to
earlier.
be a one-term president? Is it possible?
It is possible. It is possible, and it has happened. It's
never happened in this country.
This thing has happened many times in Africa. People are beginning to say, "Oh, it can't happen." George Weah in Liberia was as young as William Ruto. He came with something called Weahnomics. Very lofty terms, and Weahnomics didn't work. Liberians got so angry they kicked him out in one term. I can tell you tonight, Rutonomics is not working. With his housing, he's making you hurt with your pay slip, no matter whether you are in his party or you are Christian like him or a Kalenjin like you are suffering the way everybody is. Rutonomics is not working. The way Weahnomics never worked. One time he was kicked out, and not just him. You go to Nigeria. Good luck, Jonathan. Nigeria is a big economy. This was a very popular president. After one time, things went south. He was kicked out, and not just him. Look, down in Botswana, all countries in Africa. If it happens anywhere else, it can happen here. If someone is saying it has never happened there, it can't happen. Something happened last year when they were doing the survey of corruption in Africa and globally. And these are international assessors. They came up with a list of the most corrupt presidents. It had never happened that a Kenyan president had been featured on such a shameful list of corruption. It's the first time for a Kenyan president to be listed, not number 10. William Ruto was listed as number 2 most corrupt president in the world after Assad of Syria. This is an international global assessment. So if that could happen, that it had never happened in Kenya before, even the one-term presidency can happen. And I've been across this country. I was in the east, Kambani. I went to the coast. I've been around the country, and people are saying one term. Today we went to the Salvation Army, and when we entered the service, everyone had one finger up. So we said, "Hey, hata huku pia nyinyi one term." Ngasema no, in your official greeting at Salvation Army. It's like Kanu, ile tingiza kidole. But one time is something happened everywhere, not because people hate William Ruto, but because Kenyans are suffering the same, and they are getting to a point where they are going to tell William Ruto, "You with your bottom-up economics and Rutonomics, you have failed us. Just give way."
Okay.
I was with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka today at this Salvation Army. We told the Christians of the Salvation Army Karen Gong district, and we told Kenyans, and I wish to say this to Kenyans. I've known Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka for a long time. He's a very truthful man, and he is a man who has principles. He made it very clear today that he has no intention whatsoever of joining the broad-based government. And this, every Kenyan listening to me tonight can take it to the bank. We do not intend, we have no desire, neither do we have any inclination to join the broad-based government. We respect the decision of our colleagues who are formerly with us in Azimio, particularly ODM, who decided to enter into a post-election pact with Kenya Kwanza. But one of the issues they talked about in that MOU was that they must stop the issue of abductions, the issue of enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. That has not stopped. What I can tell them is the second issue they talked about, that they must address the issues of corruption. That has not stopped. In fact, corruption has gotten worse. And there are about 8 other issues in that memorandum.
Yeah.
But tonight I can tell them, a leopard does not lose its spots, as Chinua Achebe said. If we were within the trenches in 2023, we saw the young people being killed, live bullets, brains splattered all on the streets by this regime. And you think because you have gone in, you are going to change this regime and stop the killings and the abductions? It will not happen. You go to the table with the president who has been listed as the most corrupt president after Assad of Syria, and you think corruption will stop because you have gone to the table and asked him to stop corruption. It would. In fact, corruption has gotten worse. All we are saying to them is that a leopard cannot lose its spots, and ODM, as Sifuna said yesterday, cannot change the spots of Kenya Kwanza. The leopard will remain a leopard. So it is up to them to decide. We leave it to them. We leave it to their conscience. If they want to still be part of a government, the broad-based government, whose foundation was actually founded on the blood of the Gen Zs. They went in to say we need to stabilize this government because the Gen Zs walikuwa wanaangusha serikali. On the 25th of June, the Gen Zs impeached this parliament. They impeached this government. But ODM said, and Raila Odinga, that we want to go in and stabilize this government because it was falling. They went to Okoa, Zakayo. We are saying for us, we took a decision as ODM did, that yes, it's your democratic right. Mwende muokoe Zakayo, sisi tutaenda kuokoa Kenya. No, sisi ni okoa Kenya, ninyi ni okoa Zakayo. Sisi tunakomboa Kenya, ninyi mkomboe serikali ya Zakayo. So what is happening today is that you see those in the broad-based government realizing that 75% of Kenya is not with them. Getting Raila Odinga and ODM to their side was not enough. They thought by getting Raila Odinga and ODM to their side, they would have all Kenyans on their side. No, Kenyans are hurting. The taxes are still going up. The cost of living is going up. Corruption is going up. The lies are going up. Nothing has changed. And Kenyans have lost confidence and faith in this government. So we are saying with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, as we said this evening, we will not join this broad government. We want to send this broad-based government that was blood-based home so that we can address the real issues that are affecting Kenyans, including reversing the policies that are hurting Kenyans, including the housing levy, including the SHA and SHE thing, including the mini levies that are still putting on fuel and other things.
Okay.
We have plans to reverse. So going to join them will not change who they are. A leopard can never lose its spots, but we can reverse these policies and we can make Kenya great again. Okay.
Yeah, you know, there's the history of Kalonzo Musyoka, the blowing hot and cold, sometimes the watermelon tag. You know this, and we have seen him before saying that he's not going to support Raila Odinga. In 2022, he said he would be a fool to support Raila Odinga a third time. From the body language, and he's your friend, what do you see? Is he just saying it for the sake of it, or
I think
he's warming up to government?
I think he's clear in his mind. Give it to Kalonzo. I mean, looking at his record, in 40 years in public service, he's not been involved in any major scandal. So if you're counting the corrupt leaders of this country, Kalonzo's hands are clean. If you're counting people who have been associated with bloodshed, Kalonzo has been a God-fearing man, a Christian, who many people feel is a self-bearer of hands. So for him to leave that side and join this government that has not stopped abducting and killing young people, including this Albert Ojwang, is just the latest case. But there are 2 young people who are picked from Elgeyo Marakwet. You know, these abductions, these extrajudicial are still going on. This government cannot change. It is only a new leadership that has a clean record in terms of, and this is what we want to tell the Gen Zs of Kenya. They are saying, you know, you have been part of this government, what will change? You don't expect manna, angels to come from heaven, like manna from heaven to fall on earth to change this country. It will take serious scrutiny of the public records of anyone who wants to be president. Eugene Wamalwa has already been granted the ticket of DAP Kenya to run for presidency. You must scrutinize my record and subject it to the highest levels of scrutiny to say you are Minister for Justice, you served in the Ministry of Water, you served in the Ministry of Devolution and Defense. Was your record clean? Did you come out clean? If there are any scandals, then don't allow me anywhere near State House, because I'll not change. If I was corrupt in these ministries and I accumulated wealth, sending me to State House will give me only greater opportunities to do much more in terms of grabbing and corruption. If I was given to hurting and killing Kenyans, shedding blood, with the power of that sword, I would only shed more blood. So integrity must be on the ballot in the next coming. If we want this country to change, if we want corruption to stop, we want this bloodletting to stop, we must start looking at leaders of integrity, whether young or old. Let's subject them to the highest level possible.
Okay.
DAP is the 5th largest party in Kenya, but it's one of the youngest parties in Kenya, but also the most democratic party in Kenya.
Okay,
so the issue of him taking up issues with Salasia, PK Salasia is the youngest member of my party,
and he wants to be the 6th.
Yes, and his agenda. That's what
he wants to compete with the party leader.
No problem, because we are a democratic party, and we are prepared.
Will you take action? Now that action is part of the name.
Action I will take is to invite him to come for nomination with me and anyone else in DAP Kenya who wishes to be president, because we are a democratic party. Even in ODM, you're seeing Raila running with his deputies, Joho and others. Now, democratic space in DAP is open. And if PK Salasia, who is very popular, wishes to run for presidency or governorship or defend his seat, he's free to do so. It's not a matter of taking a disciplinary action. It is not being indisciplined to be ambitious. If you're not ambitious, you have no business being in politics. So we want to tell Sakwa that he should not worry about it. Anyone who wishes to run for any seats in DAP Kenya will have the opportunity when the time comes for nomination.
Does he stand any chance, Salasia?
He does, because we have very many young people in this country who would wish to vote for a young presidential candidate. So you cannot block young people from aspiring. We want them to aspire, we want them to desire, we want them to inspire others. So as the DAP Kenya, we are one party that has actually given young people the support and focus. We have said going in the next elections, we are going to 47 counties to sponsor 47 Gen Zs across the country, exempt them from nominations and sponsor them to run for parliament, for whatever seats they want. And PK Salasia is our Gen Z president. So he's the ambassador who will go out there to mobilize the young people. So let them not fear. The fact that you have no money does not mean you cannot aspire to any office. And PK, when I met him, he really impressed me. He just told me, I have no money, but I want to be MP.
And you gave him the ticket.
And I told him, fine, I'll not charge you the nomination fees. He or me talks from me, I'm a party leader. What else? I need a vehicle. I gave him a 4-wheel drive. What else? Some support. And do you know, he was able to beat very seasoned politicians because he was popular with the people. He had no money, but he had a dream. And for the young people of this country, don't let anyone limit your dream because of what is or what is not in your pocket. If you have a calling to serve, come out. If you have challenges getting support in your party or wherever you come from, come to DAP Kenya. We will support you to realize your dream the way PK did. And he's done very well as an MP. When it came to parliamentary issues, Finance Bill 2023, he stood with agencies in saying no. Finance Bill 2024, he stood with agencies. And DAP party was the only, 100% against both Finance Bill 2023 and 2024. I'm really proud of the young leaders who have come up, including my governor, Natembea. He's a first-time governor. He's doing very well. Wamboka in Bumula, first-time MP, the one who brought the impeachment motion on fake fertilizer. Engineer Maungu in Luanda, Bissau and Simiyu in Trans Nzoia. As a party leader, I'm very proud to see young first-time leaders coming up and shining. For the DAP sky is big enough for any stars to shine, including PK Selassie.
Okay, and are you now the kingpin of that western region? Because you're coming in very strongly, including your members, the governor, Trans Nzoia, and they're saying, first of all, that Selassie is your project, the things he's doing. Answer that first and tell us, are you the kingpin?
I don't want to be the kingpin of Luyas. I want to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm really honored that my party has already given me the green light. And I will be going around this country seeking that leadership to serve, to reverse some of these bad policies of this government. And I have been privileged to serve two great presidents. The third president, Mwai Kibaki, who also served with my late brother, Wamalwa, who was his vice president, and Uhuru Kenyatta. And we've been able to serve in great dockets of great responsibility. And I believe I'm ready and experienced enough to, in terms of leading this country, in terms of we've come up with some of the greatest policies that transform this country under Kibaki and under Uhuru. The policies we are seeing now, including the reversals of the Uhuru policies. When Ruto came in, he wanted to reverse Linda Mama. That policy was helping women, making them have equal opportunity to access maternal health care. It was reversed. We had something that was putting money in the pockets of young people, Kazi Mitani. It was reversed.
But he said he will return it today.
No, they said they return it at climate wax. Mitani or something, but we had the NHIF that was working. It might have had a few issues that experts say could have been fixed at a lesser cost than the billions. 4 billion. Yeah, than the billions we put in under this government, and we brought in Shah and Schiff. That reversal has destabilized the health sector up to now. The education sector, who was very particular in terms of in ensuring all young people realize their God-given potential from primary all the way to the university. Help was working. Then you come up with this new funding model that has failed. So leadership is about policies. If you have good policies like Mwai Kibaki about free primary education, every Kenyan is happy. You come up with wrong policies, as William has, that is draining all your pay slips, making life very difficult. We all suffer, no matter who you are. I believe the next president should be, first of all, a man or woman of integrity. And it must be someone who can actually be able to impact lives of Kenyans through transformative, people-centered policies. This is something that we believe we can do, and I'm ready for it. Okay,
what about Selassie? Are you sending him out to test the waters? Is he your project?
No, Selassie is a free spirit. If you've met him, I mean, he's a guy I really like. Yeah. He's himself. I cannot say as his political father that he's someone I control. And one thing, anyone who has worked with Eugene Wamalwa, anyone who worked with Wamalwa Kijana, know that we are gentlemen, we are not dictators, we are not control freaks, but we like a growing people and growing talents. And I'm very excited that actually 6 new leaders who are never known in this country. First-term members of parliament, 5 of them. First-term governor, Natembeya George, and they're doing very well. I'm looking forward at the next election to grow leaders across the country. And this is something that I've said. I'll be looking for 47 PK slashes that I'll be sponsoring to ensure that we give Gen Zs, young people, an opportunity to meaningfully participate in the leadership of our country politically.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's not your project?
No, he's not my project. He's my boy. And I freed him to find his footing.
Yeah.
And I hope he will.
Okay. That's good enough. So there's other issue about the finance bill that is coming up.
Yes.
It should be the finance bill. The second reading is already done, so we're going to the committee of the whole house, the whole process. What is your stand, or the stand of the People's Loyal Opposition, in terms of the finance bill?
I think, as I said, the 2 previous finance bills, the 2023 and 2024, that caused bloodshed, we were fully opposed to them, and they hurt Kenyans very deeply. In fact, this being the 3rd year, the life of every Kenyan has worsened. When they were promised they will be better under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the better agenda. You know, the other day I saw them talking about the better finance bill. It is not. Already, the last 2 years have made the cost of living too high. They should have been looking at how to give relief to Kenyans. So we have our experts and our members of parliament who from Tuesday will now be working on this, and we will be able to show Kenyans the hidden things in this finance bill. The general approach is that, just like George Bush said, read my lips, there will be no new taxes. William Ruto has said, read my lips, there will be no new. Kuna vijembe kule ndani tutawachambulia na mjue. Na ninyi mliona payslip. Mjue Zakai is still coming for your payslip.
Okay.
For Lady Sarah.
So you already said that you are running for president in 2027, and the other people, the other members of the People's Loyal Opposition, also running. Gachagua is running.
Yes.
Kalonzo is running.
Yes.
Martha is running.
Yes. Matiang'i
is running.
Yes.
Everybody is running.
Anyone apart from me who has already been cleared to run, anyone who wishes to run, we will welcome them to a democratic nomination. First within the party, then in the coalition. We're building, just the way they're building a broad-based government, we're also building a broad-based coalition for the opposition, the People's Loyal Opposition. And we are a democratic movement right now. As we are moving around the country, they've started calling us the one-term movement, because Kenyans wish to end the pain of this broad-based regime, the bread-based regime, and now with the death of Albert, the blood-based regime. And we are assuring them we will make it one term. How do we do this? By knowing very well that we have learned painful lessons in our democratic journey. When we wanted to bring about regime change in 1992, when we brought back multi-party democracy, everybody wanted to run. Jaramogi was running, Matiba was running. We lost. 1997, again, Moi beat us. Do you know he got only 36% of the vote? But because the opposition was divided, he was able to beat us. But come 2002, we were able to learn as painful as they were, we learned our lessons, we came together, and we were able to give a joint presidential candidate. Tonight, I want to pledge to Kenyans. Even as you listen to Wamalwa from DAP party, you listen to Gachagua from DCP, Kalonzo from Wiper, Martha from PLP, Matiang'i, and anyone else who has presidential ambitions. Let not your hearts be troubled. We know what we're up against. We know that if Moi was a professor of politics, William Ruto is even more shrewd. He is a student of Moi. You underestimate William Ruto at your own peril. We will not underestimate him. The only way we can beat William Ruto is if we have a joint opposition. If we win the 202 path,
one candidate.
That is the path we'll follow, and we'll give Kenyans one presidential candidate. If that candidate is Eugene Wamalwa, I can assure you I will do my best to deliver, so help me God, that victory. If they choose Kalonzo Musyoka, I will support him. If they choose Rigiji or Karua or Matiang'i or any other Kenyan within our coalition to be our flag bearer, I will do my utmost to support him, not him or her as a person, but to save this country from this blood-based regime. So help me God.